everyone. Hello, my name is Raxor. I am going to attempt my hand at looking at the patch notes 10.4 for League of Legends. This is from my great and amazing Silver to Gold ELO thoughts. So, guess I'll start. Amumu. Q dash speed increased, R cooldown decreased, and now stops. Dashes. These buffs plus the immolate changes, spoiler alert, in 10.4 should help Amumu as he tries to play with the big boys. So Amumu now brings himself closer to the enemy quicker. So let's see, 1350 speed to 1800. I'd have to see that in game to see how fast it is, but it's not important. But now, what is important? This ult change probably. All right, so level 1 ult cooldown 150 to 130. Level 2 cooldown 130 to 115, with the level 3 cooldown being 110 to 100. So 20, 15, 10 seconds off the ult each time. And basically having a lower cooldown ult means more fights can happen. So, I'm calling Amumu better. Also, stopping dashes means like Tristana's not going to be jumping out of his ult anytime soon and all of that. And yeah. Alright, that should be interesting. Alright, Aphelios. Players can now see both Aphelios guns. Calibrum no longer resets basic attack timer after consuming a mark. Crescendum sentries die faster. R range decrease. Aphelios is the Galaxy Braid marksman whose kit has a billion things you have to learn, but he's stressing out opponents who can't understand what he's doing, and seems to be lacking adequate counterplay at higher ranked games. A better clarity will lead to a drop in Aphelios' performance, since opponents will more frequently make correct decisions. But we also threw some raw nerfs, with a focus on making sure opponents have successful ways to catch him and beat him up. Alright, Weapons of the Faithful. New. Weapon view. Players can now see both guns Aphelios is holding next to his health bar. Calibrum. Remove basic attack reset. No longer resets his basic attack timer when consuming a mark. For his attack timer, still resets for the mark. So, right. Crescendum the Chakra. Red versus blue. Aphelios sentry range indicators. Now red for enemies when it's inactive. Base number of sentry attacks 4 to 3. So it attacks 3 times. Okay. Sentry health against range. Range basic attacks deal 3 damage. Sentries have 6 health. Sentries against AoE. AoE attacks deal 4 damage. Huh. I wonder why 4 damage. Oh well. It's squishier. Alright. Our Moonlight Vigil from 1600 to 1300 range. Does this really change Aphelios? I mean, he still has his damage. So, that's one thing. Even if you can see which weapons he has, I feel like people are still going to be like, what is this champion even doing to me? And yeah, alright. Moving on, Aurelion Soul, W active star damage decreased. Because reasons we feel like nerfing Aurelion Soul. I don't know why we're nerfing Aurelion Soul. No one plays that champion. Huh. Okay, moving on. Alright, Caitlyn. Bonus attack speed at level 1 increased. So, Does that mean her sharpening? Can you sharpen guns? Caitlyn's early game has potential since she's sitting in a pretty weak spot right now. Is Caitlyn weak? I don't think she's weak, or at least I don't think she's considered weak. I mean, whenever I play her, I feel like she's weak. But, you know, a buff's a buff. Probably to compensate for the Storm Razor nerf, or something. Alright, moving on to Garen. Increase Q empowered basic attack damage ratio. Increase W resistance after max from enemy kills. W shield increase. Our goal is to bring back build diversity for Garen, specifically buffing his tankier builds while keeping his damage-oriented builds still viable. To the point there is a change missing in this section that's included in the Jungle Champions section instead. So look below for that. Alright, Q Decisive Strike. Empowered basic attack damage ratio from 0.4 to 0.5. Wait, but it's an attack damage ratio. I mean, it's not bonus, but it's an attack damage ratio, which buffs him building damage. Alright. Courage. New. Blood of my enemies. At max resistances from enemy kills, Garen increases his bonus armor and magic resist by 10%. Shield goes from 0.1 maximum health to... This is a buff. 70, 95, 120, 145, 170, plus 0.2% bonus health. Okay, so his shield now has a base and scaling. Let's see. Pretty sure you max W last on Garen, so it's going to be at 70 most of the game. 0.1% of maximum health early on. So say you had like 1,000 health, that's a 10-point shield. 2,000 health, that's a 20-point shield. So all I'm seeing is still buffs to damage Garen. Okay. Gnar. Base movement speed increased. Passive mini Gnar movement speed decreased. Our damage ratios increased. Similar to Garen, we have had a Jungle Gnar specific change, which could be found in the Jungle Champions. But generally, we're looking to power him up a bit, specifically when he's Mega Gnar, since he's feeling a bit underwhelming, even as a huge hulking monster. Movement speed increased 325 to 335. Passive Rage Gene. Bonus move speed goes from 10 to 30? Levels 1 through 18 in mini Gnar form. To 0 to 20. Okay, so that's a nerf to go with his base stat changes. Alright, our Gnar damage ratio from 0.2 AD and 0.5 AP to 0.5 AD to 1.0 AP. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a sizable change. It's weird that it has an ability power ratio in the first place. But yeah, it's pretty good, pretty sizable. Are people gonna play Gnar more because of this? Probably not anymore, but I can see it helping. Alright, Jace base mana and mana growth, Q damage increase, mana. You know, I don't know if Jace runs out of mana much, so we're gonna move up to the damage increases. Alright, so level 1 he gains 10 more damage. Level 2, 15. Level 3, 3 is a 20 damage increase. Level 4 is a 20 damage increase. Level 5 is 30 damage increase? Okay, so this is the skill that you max out first, so this is actually a sizable damage difference. Wait, pretty sure this is an increase to melee Jace, so that's something. Alright. Alright, moving on to Lux. Q damage increase, cooldown decreased early. Lux can now flash while casting R. Buffing support Lux to give players the option to viably take her bot lane. As if people weren't already doing that. I guess it wasn't viable. So our Q cooldown. Alright, so 10 damage at level 1. This is ability you usually max second. Okay, so for some reason it's the same at level 3. It's at rank 3. Does 10 more damage at rank. It's a 10 damage increase in general. But its ability power ratio is lower. So that is something. By 0.1. But the cooldown's lower. Like a 2-second lower cooldown at level 1. You might get a few more in. It's still the same at rank 5. But so like mid late game Lux probably still gonna feel the same. But you can actually flash during your R for reasons, because okay, so that means you wonder if that means you can push R mid and like you see that you're missing flash, and then that way you can guarantee the hit. Base a attack speed and attack speed ratio increase for Rammus. Okay, yeah, that's okay. I'm too, I can't be bothered. This to me doesn't look like a change. Alright, Singe. Alright, Singe is eating a nerf. For reasons. Okay. Sona. Auras now grant Sona mana at first ally tag. Q, W, and E cost increased. Their thing is, I don't play her top anyways. So, clearly a jab at Sona top. Okay, so yeah, this is just a flat nerf to her being able to be played in the solo lane, because all her abilities just cost more mana. So let's see, that's 25 more mana for that. For her Q. Yeah. So they're making her spells cost more mana, but as long as you tag an ally, you get that mana back, basically. So support Sona is going to be the same. Ish. Alright, moving on to Soraka, which is probably the big one. Base stats adjusted, Q self heal, rejuvenation, heal duration, and bonus move speed decreased. Q cost increased, W health cost decreased when rejuvenated, heal increase later. So chipping away at Soraka's top lane potency as she's the winningest top laner. Thanks, Riot. Thanks. I like grammar too, but I guess we gotta butcher it every once in a while. At the current moment, we also want to keep the impact of her support lane minimal as she's not overpowering there. Overperforming there. Alright, her base stats. She's actually getting a base health increase, but a lower health growth. A base mana increase, but a lower mana growth. And an attack speed decrease. Q Star Call, self heal. Okay, it's actually just getting gutted. Rejuvenation heal duration goes from 5 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Mana costs are up, and bonus move speed is down. So her Q is just getting nerfed. This is probably the interesting part. W Astral Fusion. Yeah, me after a massage and ice cream. While Soraka is rejuvenated, the 10% maximum health cost for casting Astral Infusion will be reduced by 40, 55, 70, 85, 100%. So at level 5, Soraka, as long as she lands her Qs in team fights, will be able to heal her allies without a cost. So the heal goes from 80 to 200 to 80 to 220. Pretty sure Soraka in support maxes is second. I could be wrong. I feel like support Sorakas, if they weren't already, are going to be maxing E first, W second, with Q last. And Soraka top, it's either still there and it's going to be hurting a lot more, or it's gone and got it and you're not going to want to play her top anymore. Probably for my elo solo queue, it just doesn't matter. Alright, Silas, Q damage increase later. Because we're trying to make Silas better. Because people have fun when Silas is good. Except they don't. But, be a little impartial. That's a whole 20 damage. Alright, Udyr. Time between stance changes decrease per Cloud Drake. Udyr currently doesn't benefit at all from Cloud Drakes, so we're fixing that. That's nice. It's always nice. Alright, jungle champions. One trend we've seen over the years is that new and low MMR players pick jungle at a much lower rate than other positions, even when it's stronger. But than those other positions. For 10.4, we're approaching this problem by giving some popular champs of these skill levels better tools to jungle with, especially also because jungle has an arguably smaller champion pool than other positions, while players here will still have to contend with learning coverage as jungle as a position. They will have to learn to play a new champion as well. All the changes below are to ability effectiveness against monsters to avoid accidental impacts to lane strength. As a caveat, we're investigating other solutions to help out jungle and satisfaction of playing the role in the future too, so look forward to seeing more from us outside of these changes. I myself am a jungle main, so I'm going to bring up my thoughts onto Riot's logic. It's not so much that the champion pool is low, but rather
learning of jungle is not inherent to the League of Legends game, so new players won't really understand the role in the first place. We have to go to outside sources on YouTube to really learn how to jungle, as I don't believe Riot in their tutorial even really shows it off.
Alright, so Darius Q heal? Well, he heals for monsters. And yeah. And his passive deals 120 damage to all monsters. Yeah, his Q heals from large monsters. So big Krug, red and blue, big Wraith, big chicken camp, big wolf. Alright. So it's not a clear speed. So, okay, it is a clear speed. As long as they're bleeding. I can't figure out why you would Darius jungle, because his ganks are he walks at them and that's it. I guess he has a pull and a slow, but they sound like they'd be pretty bad. All right, Diana. Passive Moon Silver Blade damage increased by 150 on non-epic monsters. So that's every third auto, which should increase her clear speed by quite a bit because she does use it a lot, and it's just always gonna happen. Diana jungle for me, I was like always felt like yeah, this works, but why would I? Because her ganks are kind of trash since she has no CC, so people just walk away. But it should be interesting. Garen E Judgment damage, 150% damage to epic monsters. So this should actually make Garen's AoE clear pretty good. And again, same as like Darius, why would you jungle Garen instead of just play him top? Nard, hyper base maximum W, hyper base maximum damage. 300 at all levels, so I think that's his 3-hit proc. Just does more damage to monsters. Okay, Kaiser passive. Does more damage to monsters. Talent, so I'm pretty sure Mordekaiser's already a viable jungler. Kind of. But this will buff his clear speed. Alright, Talon passive. Blades End monster damage. Abilities now wound all monsters for 120%. So Talon jungle, if it's good, sounds like even more of a pain than mid Talon. If his clear speed does end up being good, he actually has the ability to clear extra fast as he can leap over walls, which would allow him certain jungle paths that literally other people can't do. Alright, Zed, Contempt for the Weak. I'm pretty sure this is passive, where if they're below 50%, they take more damage. So, take that what you will. Again, Zed jungle leads to, if I'm not already playing this champion, why would I do it here? And yeah, let's move on to the next part. So, documented mid-patch updates, but hey, they're gonna appear up here again. Akali. I'm just gonna quickly do this. Akali does more damage. To compensate for all the nerfs the literal bat she took to the kneecaps. Last patch. Oh, and her ult cooldown is lower. Yumi does a little bit more damage, but and a little bit more healing, it seems. Yeah, more damage, more healing. Alright, so let's get to these rune changes. Alright, Exhaust. Small buffs to Exhaust, as well as readability improvements. From duration 2.5 seconds to 3. Now shows how much damage is being reduced. That's interesting. Hail of Blades. I'm attempting to broaden Hail of Blades use cases since it's currently taken specifically by junglers who can chain their CC abilities with their basic attacks. This is true. Maximum time between attacks 2 to 3 seconds, and cooldown from 4 seconds of out of combat to just a flat 8 seconds. So that means you can gain Hail of Blades back mid-combat. So this actually could be a pretty big Callista buff, and I wonder how many other people could make use of Hail of Blades. Alright, Legend Runes. We've seen Bloodline all too often as the dominant pick for ADCs, especially in pro play. We're slowing down all the Legend Runes stacking for minion farming versus champion killing, since Bloodline specifically relies on stacking up, and since pros get more of their stacks from farming than kills compared to everyone else, this should be most impactful at that level of play. So, I don't think it's going to change how people play the game. Alright, currently a lot of perfect timing. Currently a lot of players are taking perfect timing since it builds into core items on so many different types of champions. Mages, Zonias, AD champions, Guardian Angels, tanks, Gargoyle, Stoneplate. Don't get us wrong, we are happy to see it, but there's much more satisfaction as a player and as a spectator when it's used aggressively rather than defensively. Okay, right. Okay, commencing stopwatch goes from 10 minutes to 14 minutes, while takedowns reduce the timer by 2 minutes, so it's kind of like boots in that way. You can't push underground. No longer additionally reduces the cooldown of Guardian Angel, Gargoyle, Stoneplate, and Zonia's Hourglass by 15%. The stopwatch cost has gone from 600 to 650. Right, so if you are a Zed player, you have 14 minutes to kill your opponent before they can push stopwatch if they take the rune. Or, well, anyone. If you see this rune has been taken. But do note that they can actually end up getting the stopwatch sooner, because the takedowns reduce the timer by 2 whole minutes. Alright, Phase Rush. Attempting to broaden the rune since it's currently only being taken by ranged mages with extremely low cooldowns. Maximum time between attacks, 3 to 4 seconds, so that's how you get it. Phase Rush up, because you have to use 3 different attacks. Movement speed, 25 to 40%. Increase to 30 to 50% for melee champions, so I can't figure out why melee champion would take Phase Rush over this, but over like Conquer and all of that, but you know, things happen. Omni Stone will no longer... Okay, these keystones are really hard to trigger at level 1, so I guess they just straight removed it. Will no longer give the player press the attack or conquer as their first rune. Bug fixed to unflinching, now properly grants 10% slow resistance per summoner spell on cooldown. I guess it just didn't do that. Alright, now the real buff to tanks. Bammy Cinder. Once every 10 seconds, it's just new. Your next immobilizing ability deals 6 to 23. Okay, it deals damage and releases a fire nova that also deals damage. Then we got damage on top of damage when you immobilize someone. So clearly a tank buff. I assume mobilizes as long as it makes them not able to move correctly. Cinder Hulk, more damage. Okay. This should also increase like Because it's just enemies. Well, it just deals damage around you, so that would also mean it increases your jungle clear as soon as you get those. And Ornn's gonna like this Sunfire Cape change along with any other top lane or, who builds Sunfire Cape. So resistance calculation do change. They kind of stack, but then they don't anymore. So, yeah. Login region selector, don't care. Crash port, bug fixes. You know what? Skins. Let's look at these. I actually really like this splash art. Probably gonna pick up that Katarina skin for myself. Not so much Master Yi. And then there's Tryndamere. I don't play Tryndamere, but he looks cool too. Let's look at these colors. Okay, these are Tryndamere colors. They look alright. Any I'm gonna buy. Katarina. Katarina is probably the one I'm gonna buy. Yeah, these colors. Like this one here. Would want that one. I want this blue one too. Maybe even the red one. I kind of just want them all. And Master Yi. Alright. So that's something about that. And it's something.
This is not pods.
Yep, something. So I guess we'll probably go back over the patch notes real quick, as it's time to wrap this up. Alright. Buffs, champs, Amumu, Caitlyn, Darius, Diana, Garen, Gnar, Jace, Lux, Kaiser, Rammus, Silas, Talon, Udyr, Zed, nerfed, Aurelion Sol for no reason, Aphelios, and Sona, and Soraka. Alright, Amumu, he should be pretty good now. Aphelios, I don't really know. Yeah, honestly. Aurelion Sol, I don't even know why he got nerfed. This actually makes no sense. Caitlyn? Yeah. Garen. Man, some of these changes are kind of lame. But, it's time for us to head out for the night. Yeah.